Let's quickly check the daily, and we are one time framing up for 4 days. After previous week we one time frame down. We might see some potential squeeze to the upside today because of the OPEX and how previous week and this week played out, but maybe not. I won't predict today. I rather react what could happen. And yesterday was quite balancing day within previous days range. We had some small attempts later in the day that barely got higher, and session ended with a spike to the downside, but entire overnight is long. So now we either can see squeeze of those shorts that traded to the downside, or first we could see correction of overnight inventory, so a move lower. I think that bigger importance is in the late close and the difference in price move. So first I think we could see some potential squeeze that get us higher and higher, and maybe we could fill those single prints, the selling tail that we had a while back. So I would like a weaker attempt lower, and maybe if we start printing second period higher, then I could enter long on any pullback that I get, especially if volume builds bigger above yesterday's highs and not that big below. But that's not an easy trade to get, especially early on or later on. In the afternoon maybe we could get a pullback to enter if we are to build value higher. Alternatively, we could see some early correction of overnight inventory, so an early attempt higher that fails, either around overnight highs or yesterday's highs, that fails, and we traverse back to revisit point of control, at least, maybe value area low. I don't expect us to get through entire yesterday's range, but that would be the scenario, so I must be very cautious about that, because not to mistake the correction of overnight inventory with the bigger move that could bring us back through balance, because if we consider this range as the balance, or maybe higher, maybe this part, then it would be natural for the market to, once entering here, traverse to the other extreme and maybe even lower, depending on the move. So we could extend this range like twice or more times if we get a failure on the upside. So it really depends on the volume and the action around the middle, if we can get lower. But if I'm able to enter short, maybe around on this pullback or just after getting back within range, then I will leave some small runner to get us here, and maybe after we get below, I will scale in again, but I'm not sure. Maybe just a small pullback, and later if we get below yesterday's range and on a small pullback, I could join again, but then it would be quite bigger move. So maybe if we slowly build acceptance within previous day's range and then print more below, then would be easier. But yeah, and overall I think that this area around overnight highs, around previous 2 days ago highs or yesterday's highs is a good separation between long and shorts. So above I would like to get long, and below short at least to revisit the middle of this range. And for longs from this area it would be okay, but better if we do it later in the session. So if the value builds, but then again we might see a double distribution if the push is not working higher. People might start puking out, so later in the day I might be more on the defensive side and scale down a bit with those rotational moves. Same as shorting here, we might see some squeeze to the upside, especially after second balancing day. So slightly more favorable would be breakout from this balance zone that I marked